YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back. Arsenal versus Liverpool in the FA Cup from the Emirates, and we know what a crazy match it was at Anfield in the Premier League a little while ago. But listen, let's get into this preview, this Arsenal versus Liverpool preview from the Emirates. And this is going to be a really interesting game. Liverpool are on the absolute back foot because the squad and the team available, it's bare bones. It's not looking good for the Anfield setup. It's not looking good at all. As a Liverpool supporter, I'm worried. I'm absolutely worried. And in my predicted score at the end might not be what you might be expecting. It's rare I go over Liverpool defeat on my preview. That's because I just love Liverpool, and obviously a biasness does take over. I do think I'm quite fair in my opinions on other sides and stuff, and players and our players especially. I'm quite critical. As you may know or may not know, my ratings, I have never given any Liverpool player a 10. I think in the past 2 or 3 seasons. I probably have actually, but I don't remember, and certainly not last season, and because we was like dog shit. And this season, I don't know if anybody scored a hat-trick, and usually it's if you get a hat-trick it warrants you a 10, or an absolutely outstanding goalkeeper. For maybe Alisson's got a 10. But listen, let's get into this preview. So first and foremost, let's do away with the preview screen, and we're gonna start with our I'm gonna put the Klopp subs up, and we put the red birds, and then we're gonna put the injury list icons up. And first of all, we're gonna start with what I think the starting lineup's gonna be for Liverpool, right? And I imagine Klopp might well go with something like this. I think we're gonna go strong. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we have much of a choice. It's either Klopp goes strong or he just plays a second-rate team. If he plays a second-rate team, I still think I think if he plays a second-rate team, right, he has to play at least 6 of the first teamers, and then you still risk injury knowing you're probably going to lose. So I feel like you might as well go for it. And it's not our strongest team first and foremost. It's not. So even though it's going to be a strong side, it's not going to be the team that I think could beat Arsenal at the Emirates. So first of all, let's just go with what I feel like he's going to do. I do think Klopp's going to go pretty strong. So anyway, Alisson in goal, Gomez left back, VVD left centre back, Konate right centre back, Trent Alexander-Arnold right back, Curtis Jones, McAllister, Harvey Elliott across the middle. Yes, Harvey Elliott. Diaz on the left, Gakpo is in the centre, and then Nunez on the right. I mean, yeah, some of you probably thinking, what the hell, Nunez on the right? We've not seen that before. He's left-footed. I don't know. Is he left-footed? I think he's right-footed. I'm sure he's right-footed. He's right-footed. He's definitely right-footed. Right. Substitutions: Jota, Cade Gordon, Carvalho. Random, I know. Owen Beck, random, I know. Gravenberch, not random, we know him. Kwanzaa, yeah, we know him. Keller, we know him too. Conor Bradley, James McConnell, oh, that's our squad, that's our bench. Woo, for the Hungry Birds, obviously, Bobby Clark, Luke Chambers, Phillips, Adrian. Our injury list is ridiculous. Szoboszlai, Tsimikas, Matip, Doak, Thiago, Bajcetic, Robertson, obviously Salah and Endo are away on international duty with Egypt and Japan at their respective national or nations tournaments, African nations, and obviously the Asian Nations Cup or Asian Cup, however you want to call it. So guys, let's just browse into this team we've got here. This is crazy. I had to research into a couple of these players that I knew of them, but I didn't know too much from. Hold on, where's my football? There it is. Hold on, where's it gone? Come back. Okay, there we go. I need to bring it out. Yeah, it's my little icon. So yeah, you've got the youngsters, man, on the bench is insane. But you know what? It's a good day out. It's a good, it's a good place to go, suck in the atmosphere, get to know the feeling of these big match, big match day, cup, the vibe. Arsenal, big club. Yeah, I mean, it's it makes sense it's a good experience for these young bucks, right? So I do think it's going to go with Alisson. I think now the team here, I think this team is capable of actually winning the game. I'll be honest. I think this team can beat Arsenal, especially in the shape that Arsenal are in at the moment. Now, Arsenal, I think this is a massive game for Arsenal. I think it's a must-win game for Arsenal. They're going to come out and attack us. I think we are solid enough to sit. Actually, I think if Klopp plays with a sitting mentality, not a part of the bus, just sit a little bit deeper, no space in behind. I think we have work rate for days in here. Two young bucks tearing around, filling spaces, stopping passes, chasing them down. I think that can happen. McAllister is fresh from injury, probably doesn't want to try and do 80, 90 minutes. Probably doesn't want to go with 90 minutes, but he might have to. Because the cover that we have for him, I don't know. I don't know what kind of cover we have for him. Excuse me, Connor Bradley. It's more of I feel like he's more. Last time I remember him was more attack minded. Maybe he's a bit more Curtis Jonesy now. Kind of sits in a little bit and doesn't push too forward. But likes, if the game's panning out in our team's favour, maybe then he pushes on a bit. Can Curtis Jones, swap into the middle at some point? Maybe, I don't know. We're not really seeing that. The obvious one, if McAllister can't do the full 90 or has an injury or recurrence, no touch wood, he doesn't, is Trent can jump into that position. Or maybe, Klopp changes the formation 4-4-2 and just goes, Trent and McAllister in there. But Trent defensively in the DM role, I'm not sure. Maybe he goes with, pivot. He has two. It's a really, really tricky one. For McAllister to play this game, obviously we have Gravenberch as well. That could come on. I'm dying to see Gravenberch in that role. I think Gravenberch could. I mean, from the games Gravenberch has been playing, he started off really well, but he's dipped a little bit. He's dipped a little bit, and I really wanted to see. I really do want to see him in a DM role, but I feel like his important performances have to improve. I don't think he can play in that role with his performances as they are currently. I still think he has the physicality. I think he has the ability. But his ability has to become consistent. He's not consistent with his ability. I think he's got the energy. I think he's got physicality. I think he's got a brain. I think he's got all of the attributes. But at the moment, it's consistency is the attribute that's letting him down, and he needs to get that consistency in certain areas of the pitch. Well, in the area he plays in, obviously the left side of midfield, before maybe he can even contemplate him playing in there. But if there is nobody else, he might have to have a stint in there just to see, how the cookie crumbles. But ultimately it's going to be McAllister. Maybe McAllister just has to play a full game. Hopefully, if maybe we can get a 2-0 lead or some sort of luck on our side, we can rest him. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he's going to play the 40-minute, the full 90 minutes, and I don't think either team's going to win. I do think it's going to be a draw, providing Klopp plays a strong side. So that's an issue right there. I think Harvey is worthy of a start. Szoboszlai is out injured for sure. I'm really content with this midfield. I think this midfield has a lot of energy and has a lot of guile. Elliot can sneak with a goal. McAllister isn't shy of a goal or two either from long range, and all of them are capable of scoring. So I'm not scared. I don't think their midfield is miles better than this midfield. The way that their midfield is playing currently, as an all-round player, yeah, out and out just player, not position player, right? Player for player, right? I do think McAllister is easily as good as Rice. In the 6, probably Rice is, better player. If you're just going by natural ability on the ball, keeping your team possession, right? I think McAllister is better than Rice in that position, right? Laugh at me, it's cool. Now, if we're talking about defensively, then I think Rice is far more experienced, and obviously I think Rice is the better candidate. But that's only if, Arsenal have majority of the ball. If the ball is, Liverpool's favour majority of the game, we never know. Then, the DM for Arsenal, Rice for Arsenal, it makes sense. He'll be more defensively sound, and he'll be strong in their position. And if Arsenal had the ball and they was pushing us, in our case we have McAllister, who isn't a natural DM, and so we may worry a bit. But offensively, I think going forward, I think McAllister can create and trouble Arsenal's back line and break the lines for us more than what Rice could if he gets on the ball and uses and moves forward with Arsenal. So there's tit for tat. I think defensively they're better. I think offensively we are better. Now I do think Odegaard is the standout for them. Do I think Odegaard is miles better than Jones or Harvey Elliott? I don't think he's miles better. I think he's better. I don't think he's technically better than Jones. I think Jones is very good retaining possession and keeping hold of possession and not losing possession and just keeping play ticking over. Odegaard, by Arsenal fans, has not been in great form. When I've seen him play, I think he's been trying to make things happen for Arsenal. He's looked dangerous. He's had shots. Yes, they've been on target. I don't think he had a poor game against West Ham in any sort of. I don't think he was poor at all. I thought he was trying to, dig something out for them, and they just disrespected that. But yeah, by saying it was poor, it wasn't good enough. Hey, I just saw a guy trying to dig his team out of a situation at West Ham there, at the Emirates against West Ham. So yeah, but I mean, Jones is adding goals to his playing ability now, his style. He's pushing on. He's arriving in the box later. Harvey Elliott's had a few fantastic sub appearances. How he fares starting the game will be interesting to see, because we've only really seen him, but he's full of energy. He's a lot better. He's getting better season by season. I don't think at the moment Szoboszlai is a much better player, way better player, physically, defensively, going forward, just generally, when he is in form. But Szoboszlai, I feel like he's a little off form at the minute. Although he does the basics well and doesn't really show that he's off form, because other players are stepping up and covering for him. I think Elliott could actually be on a par there with the form that Szoboszlai is. I don't think it's a massive drop off if Elliott starts this game. In fact, Elliott probably gives you a little bit more than what Szoboszlai would in Szoboszlai's current form. So I'm not scared of that for 1 second. Arsenal don't play with like a height or physicality thing going on there. So, I think these three can be like, three little pit bulls in the midfield, terrorizing, shutting down gap. The only thing I'd say is about this midfield is that it's not had game time together, a lot of game time together, whereas Arsenal's they have, Kai Havertz, Odegaard and Rice, they have had game in, game out together. I obviously do believe that Kai Havertz is a weakness in their midfield. I don't believe he's better than any of the midfielders we have here. Personally, I don't think he's better than Elliott, and I don't think he's better than Jones. Hence the Arsenal link recently in that position. There you go, Cookie. And that's proof in the pudding right there. That they're interested in Kenwyne Jones. Kenwyne Jones, because that's that big black striker, isn't it? Kenwyne Jones. He used to play for Sunderland. Was it Sunderland? I can't remember. Oh my god, I forgot his goddamn Curtis Jones. That's why they wanted Curtis Jones to replace Kai Havertz. Or even though I don't think that was even true in any sense, I think Arteta probably respects him and whatnot. But I don't think Arsenal ever really wanted him more. And why we're not going to sell him to you, so why even bother inquire? It's just silly. Especially right now in this business end of the season, it's just silly. And there's also no way he's an Arsenal fan. I heard about that as well. There's no way a scouser from Liverpool is an Arsenal fan. I can't believe it for 1 second. Can't believe it. So yeah, I'm happy with the midfield if this midfield starts. What else could we do here? Would I start Gravenberch over Jones? Don't think so. Not in the current form Gravenberch is in. I think if Gravenberch can be the player that I know Gravenberch is or has the ability, I think he could challenge, but he needs to find that consistency. He needs to he has to improve. What else could we do? I don't even know. What else could we do here? He'd be in left back position. James McConnell. I mean, it's a last 3-4 minute substitution, isn't it? It's an injury time substitution, isn't it? You take off Harvey Elliott and you bring on James McConnell or whatever you might do there. Who else is there? Carvalho. I don't know if Carvalho is going to be in the squad, but he has been called back. It's very interesting because I was looking at the squad and players and stuff, and I feel like there's an extra space there. If I take Carvalho out, there is nobody, in my opinion, better from the squad, like the lower leagues with experience and stuff. Like it just said to me, Carvalho is going to be in the squad. He probably won't play, but he's going to be in the squad if Jones, gets to, let's say, I don't know, 86 minutes and he needs to take somebody off to put on somebody, then he's going to just put on Carvalho, or he's going to put on Gravenberch, or maybe Harvey comes off and he puts in Carvalho or something, or he drops Gakpo into midfield for Elliott and then puts Carvalho where Gakpo is, just for the last 4 or 5 minutes, whether to see the game out. It's just an extra body which we need right now because we've got so many injuries. So, and I went through the squad and even the team that lowered down under 23s and stuff, and I just looking at players and I was like, the ones that have featured recently, Klopp isn't going to dig up one that we've not heard of or ever seen play for the first before and be like, yo, you're going to play against Arsenal. He's not going to do it. So it's going to be some that have been floating around, sitting on the bench, getting a little bit of match experience, etc., etc., etc. And let's face it, Carvalho has experience. It makes sense for him to be on the bench, in my opinion. Unless miraculously one of those injuries suddenly return, which they're not going to. I can't see anybody else filling the gap. So for me, Carvalho is on the bench. It's crazy to think that his loan spell was cut short, and he's on the bench. As for the attack, I want to talk about the defense again in a little while. But as for the attack, Diaz, I think Diaz starts. I think Gakpo starts centrally, and I think Nunez starts centrally. And I'll be honest with you, if we set back, compress the space here in this area, kept it tight at the back, Alisson in goal, not concede, maybe even concede possession to Arsenal. They're at home, let the fans get frustrated. It's 0-0. I'm telling you, Luis Diaz and Nunez on the counter-attack is dangerous. With McAllister floating around and Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott, especially McAllister with the eye for that deep lying through ball in behind or in between Saliba and the other one, I think that's very dangerous for them if we got Luis Diaz and Nunez. Even if you rotate these and you have him here and then Diaz on the right, I'm not so sure how Diaz is on the right. I know for Colombia he's on the left, Liverpool's on the left, and I know Nunez goes central and he's right footed, so I don't see why Nunez couldn't make diagonal runs in and then shoot with his right foot. I don't see why. He likes to run down the left wing and cut in on his right. I don't see why he can't play on the right side. So, and I feel like because Diaz has naturally been on the left side more, I think he should just stick to. I think you will mess his form up a little bit if you just switch him completely to the right, where he's not been there for a long time. Whereas I think Nunez playing central is often found in and around this area anyway, and he's probably more, it's not going to be, we don't have a Salah like for like, we don't have one, we're not going to play that kind of game. So let's not expect to see somebody there like. So I'll be very surprised if he plays like Harvey Elliott there, because also we've no one for the midfield then, unless he goes Curtis Jones and then Gravenberch. I mean, he could do that. Gravenberch gets the start, but I don't think that makes any sense. I think you've got the strikers. You've still got, you know, you could have Cade Gordon on the bench as well, which is a nice right wing you could bring on late on. For Nunez, if once the job is done, etc., etc. If even. So hold on, let me just straighten this up. So, and then obviously Jota can come central. One of the front three can always play 90 minutes. Let's be real. They're young enough and fit enough and strong enough. You know, you don't have to take off two of them. You know, only one of them can come off. So that's always an option. You know, you could drop Gakpo into midfield. You know, and then have drop Gakpo in the midfield, bring on Cade Gordon, switch Nunez into the centre. Cade Gordon plays on the right. You know, Cade Gordon goes onto the right. Oh, we're moving the wrong thing there. Cade Gordon on the right. You know, Gakpo moves. Let's just do something like that, and then Gakpo there. You know, if we need to switch it up, you know, we could do something like that. You know, there's many options. You know, and yeah, why not? Why not? What else could we do? What else is possible here? You can have Jota. You know, that wasn't even bringing Jota on. Jota could come on. You know, Jota could come on from the left. You know, hell, Jota should come on from the left. Now Diaz could go to the right, take off Gakpo, drop Gakpo into the midfield or wherever it was we was going to do with him. And then we could do something like that, and if need be, or we can switch it around like this. I think we have the firepower to beat Arsenal, not gonna lie. And I think if Klopp just uses a little bit of, you know, our strength here is our defence, in my opinion. And I think if Klopp uses some tactics and know-how, I think he could really throw the spanners in the works. I really think he can. I think he could cause a hell of an upset, you might want to call it. I think we can do something here with this side. Like I said, our strongest 11, our 11 here is very good. I think it's a very good 11. Our bench is weak with the odd promise or possibility floating around in it. 100%, you know. But in terms of our defense, like if we have a Gomez injury or we get a Gomez injury, then we have recalled Owen Beck, who would probably come on for him. I don't know what the other options are. What other options do we have there? Probably none. If anything happens to McAllister, I can see that happening probably. And then if Gomez is still okay, Gomez will switch to the right back, and then Owen Beck will come in at left back. Although we do have a right back in Connor Bradley. This young man right here, Connor Bradley, he does play right back. He can play right back. If we don't fancy the untried and tested Owen Beck. So Connor Bradley is fit and he could come in at right back. You know, I think Connor Bradley's a very good player. I think he's decent, very decent going forward. He's obviously got the support of Konate there. I think that's the key. If I don't see the Konate Van Dijk partnership at the Emirates, I think it could be a long day. Kwanzaa is very new, but I'm not sure he's quite ready for this. If we had a full strength Liverpool, if we had a full squad, starting 11 and subs, then I'd say Kwanzaa could probably get away with playing next to Van Dijk. Or maybe even Konate. But we need a full strength side, but that would make no sense. If we got a full strength side, then, you know, VVD is going to play. So then that would mean that Konate, if Klopp wants to give him an experience on, like, in a big game like this and, you know, improve him, you know, match by match, then it would probably be Konate rested. I think Konate drops out of the Fulham game, and I think Kwanzaa comes in, against with actually it might even be Kwanzaa and Konate against Fulham. I don't think Konate will play too many games together. That's the only thing. So for me, if this game is Kwanzaa and VVD, then I think the next game is going to be VVD. No. This game is definitely going to have VVD, right? And I'll be very surprised if it has Kwanzaa instead of Konate. But the next game will definitely have VVD and Konate against Fulham. If Kwanzaa starts this one, which I don't. If this game is VVD and Konate, then the next game is definitely going to be, in my opinion, VVD and Kwanzaa to start. And then the following weekend game will be back to, or is it away to Bournemouth? It will be maybe even Kwanzaa. Maybe Kwanzaa plays in the Bournemouth. I can't see it there. And also it depends if we draw this game, because then we've got a replay which will be at Anfield, which is another game. So it all depends what happens. But my point being is that we do have a sufficient DM, kind of. When he's not a normal DM, he's just a ball playing midfielder, centre midfielder. He's not a DM. I don't think so. I think he's more like a Thiago style DM midfielder. Trent would be if we do have to move him there, because if anything happens to McAllister, he's the only one that can fill that space to some extent. Maybe I'm banging for Gravenberch and Birch a lot of the time. Maybe Jones can do something in there. I'm not sure. Is Jones? I'd rather Jones in there than Trent. I think, just on the defensive side. So maybe it ends up being something like that. I don't know. I actually think if there is a space for Trent in midfield, it's that right side, and I think that's good, because I think that actually gives Szoboszlai a kick up the backside, knowing that Trent can regularly play in that position. But actually, I think Szoboszlai is weary of that anyway. I don't think he's oblivious to knowing that Trent can't fill that space. Or that, well, he can even probably play there actually, Trent. But I don't think he's got the speed, and I think he just turns off too much. He's not got the concentration to kind of watch spaces, close down, get stuck in. I don't think Trent is a physical player. He likes to be on the ball, dominating when it's comfortable. He might not get that against Arsenal, so therefore. But like I said, if we do get issue with McAllister again, he needs to come on for 70 minutes or 80 minutes or something. I just think one of these two, either Curtis Jones or Trent, are the ones that's going to drop in there. It's a no-brainer. So obviously you have to move Trent. So therefore we're going to have to bring on Bradley, or we bring on Owen Beck at left back, and then we switch Gomez to right back. I think Bradley is fine there, and I think that's fine. I guess the problem is if anything happens to Gomez, then we will definitely have to use Beck. We will definitely have to use Beck if anything happens to Gomez. And then obviously Conor Bradley is still off, and everything hopefully stays the same how it should be. But yeah, it's going to be very intriguing. It's going to be exciting. There's a lot to think about. I'm kind of gutted our team is, kind of how it is to all these injuries. Once we get all these injuries out of the way, if we can win this game, my goodness, talk is that Szoboszlai is out for like a week minimum. So hopefully he'll be back for Bournemouth. He misses the Fulham game as well, but Fulham not too bad because we're at home. I think Thiago is quite close, but I don't think midweek or Bournemouth. I think it's more than the returning Arsenal game. Hopefully, but yes, I think that's pretty much it for the preview for the preview of this FA Cup away tie to Arsenal at the Emirates. Man of the match, I think. My man of the match. All right, let's do the score and the man of the match. So my man of the match, I think if we're going to get anything out of this game, it has to be this man here, Virgil van Dijk. I think he needs to play a blinder alongside his partner, whether it's Konate or whether it's Kwanzaa. I think he needs to have a blinder. Absolutely solid. I also think Alisson needs to have a very good game blinder as well. I think we can win 1 or 2-0. I think we could do a smash and grab, not gonna lie. I think we can, you know, they're not, you know, Arsenal kind of got lucky with scoring at the Anfield, the early goal. I think this time we'll be less complacent and more ready because the crowd is on their team, so we're gonna have to start strong because we're gonna know they're gonna start strong. They're gonna be on it from you know, crowd and stuff are gonna be hyped, so we're gonna be hyped. So hopefully we can catch them cold and return the favor this time round. But I do think he's gonna have to be key for us if he does play. And then score. I don't even know. I think I've still got the old scoreline up. Let's just see what scores we had. This is the old score, so let me quickly change these. What I think the score is gonna be. I don't think any team's gonna win, so I'm gonna go for another. I want to go for another 1-1. Yeah, I'm gonna go for another 1-1. Let's just change that real quick to red. Yeah, there we go. Nice. I think we're gonna go for another 1-1 score with these two. I don't think it's gonna be a return game at Anfield. Maybe 2-2 actually. Maybe 2-2, 1-1. Definitely a score draw. No 0-0. It's gonna be fierce and firing. I'm excited. Come on, you Liverpool. And guys, I will see you in the full-time post-match review. I'll probably try and get it out Sunday, late Sunday night, or Monday morning, afternoon, evening. Just depends on how my life turns out. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, I've been Red Mist, FC Ninja. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and take it easy. I'll see you soon. Latest.